A pleasant day, learners. So, the group 1 will be discussing today the information age from the introduction, history of history, and the evolution of man and information, and the last one will be computer and the types of computers. So, are you all ready? So, let's get into it. So, the information age. The information age is defined as a period starting in the last quarter of the 20th century when information became effortlessly accessible through publications and through the management of information by computers and computer networks. It is also called the digital age and the new media age because it was associated with the development of computers. James R. Messenger, who proposed the theory of information age in 1982, says that the information age is a true new age based upon the interconnection of computers via telecommunications with these information systems operating on both a real-time and as needed basis. Furthermore, the primary factors driving this new age forward are convenience and user friendliness, which in turn will create user dependence. History. Now, let's trace back the history. The timeline of the information age. So in 3000 BC, the Sumerian writings system used in pictographs to represent words. In 2900 BC, beginnings of Egyptian hieroglyphic writings. In 1300 BC, tortoise shell and oracle bone writings were used. In 500 BC, papyrus roll was used. In 220 BC, Chinese small seal writing was developed, and in 100 AD, book or parchment codex was was developed also. In 105 AD, woodblock printing and paper was invented by the Chinese. In 1455, Johannes Gutenberg invented printing using movable metal type. In 1755, Samuel Johnson's dictionary standardized English spelling. In 1802, the Library of Congress was established, invention of the carbon arc lamp. In 1824, the research on persistence of fission published. In 1830s, first viable design for a digital computer, Augusta Lady Brown writes the world's first computer. In 1837, invention of the telegraph in Great Britain and the United States. And in 1861, motion pictures were projected onto screen. Now, in 1876, Dewey Decimal System was introduced. In 1877, Edward Muybridge demonstrated high-speed photography. In 1899, first magnetic recordings were released. In 1902, motion pictures special effects were used. In 1906, Lee DeForest invented the electronic amplifying tube or triode. In 1923, television camera tube was invented by Zorkin. In 1926 was the first practical sound movie. Wow, that was great. And in 1939, regularly scheduled television broadcasting began. Where? In the United States. In 1940s, beginning of what? Information science as a discipline. And in 1945, Vannevar Bush foresaw the invention of what? The hypertext. And in 1946, ENIAC or the ENIAC computer was finally developed. And in 1948, birth of field of information theory proposed by whom? By who? By Claude E. Shannon. And in 1957, planar transistor was developed by Gene Herney. And in 1958 was the first integrated circuit. And in 1960s, Library of Congress developed the by LC Mark or the machine readable code. Now, in 1969, Unix or the UNIX operating system was one developed which could handle multitasking. And in 1971, Intel introduced the first microprocessor chip. And in 1972, finally optical laser disc was developed by who? By Philips and MCA. And in 1974, what happened? MCA and Philips agreed on a standard video disc encoding format. And in 1975, Altair microcomputer kit was released. It was the first personal computer for the public. And in 1977, Radio Shack introduced the first complete personal computer. And in 1984, Apple Macintosh computer was introduced. And in the mid 1980s, artificial intelligence was separated from information science. And in 1987, HyperCard was developed by who? By Bill Atkinson Recipe Box Metaphor. And in 1991, 450 complete works of literature on one CD-ROM was released. And in January 1997, RSA, or the Encryption and Network Security Software, Internet Security Code cracked for a 48-bit number. So that is the history of the information age. Now, let's proceed to the evolution of a man and information. Are you all excited to know more? Now, let's get into it. The evolution of man and information. In 1970s and in 1970s, because of the abundance of information, it was difficult to collect and manage them. And in 1980s, Richard Berman called it information anxiety. And in 1990s, information became the currency in the business world. Now let's know more. The information is a very important tool that helps improve our way of life. It the preferred medium of exchange, and the information manager served as information officers. Now, the information age will continue to move forward and far greater than our minds could imagine. Now, in the present generation, information has turned out to be what? A commodity, an overdeveloped product, a mass-produced and specialized. And Robert Harris thought about the information age. Information must be complete. Second, newer is equated with truer. Third, selection is a viewpoint. Fourth, the media sells what the culture buys. Fifth, the early word gets the perm. Sixth, you are what you eat, and so is your brain. And seventh, anything is great, demand will be counterfeited. 8. Ideas are seen as controversial. 9. Undead information whilst ever on. 10. Media presence creates the story. And 11. The medium selects the message. And the 12th one, the whole truth is a pursuit. The information that reaches us is usually selected, verbally charged, filtered, slanted, and sometimes fabricated. So now, let's get into the computer world. So computer, what is a computer? A computer is a continuous advancing electronic device. It is a topmost ICT invention. Now, there are different types of computer. What are these? So first one, the personal computer or PC. So PC is a single user instrument. It is originally known as microcomputer, and it is so useful. Next one, desktop computer. Desktop computers are a portable PC, permanent spot set up, and it is a more powerful processor, memory, enhanced capabilities, and it has more storage. And for laptops, portable. I believe you know what laptops are because this is so famous. Now, laptops are portable computers possess what desktop computer essential, and it is battery powered, and it is also known as notebooks. And for the next one, the personal digital assistants or the PDAs are touch screen computers. These are lightweight, small, and battery powered. The server computers. What are server computers? Server computers are network services provided computers. It has a powerful processors, memory rich, and it has a huge hard drives. And for the mainframes, as you can see on the picture, it is a huge computer. It can fill an entire room in it, and it is expensive. And for the wearable computers, this is the last one. We all know this it is so famous nowadays. This can connect to phones. It is small and it is so convenient. It performs computer features. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening to our discussion. I believe you've learned something from our discussion today. Thank you once again.